Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Melos Machina. I hope that you have had a fantastic time. We are, boy, brains are running on every single cylinder. Oh, yeah.
Cylinders are doing great.
Yeah.
So many good cylinders.
I feel like I say this in between every single episode, but boy, it's been a week.
Yep.
Process.
Yep.
Trust the process, they say.
Oh my god.
We're making art.
Yeah. And you know, art takes
Making art, man.
devotion and pain and suffering.
That's right. Yeah, I got an arts degree, so like, I know.
Well, that also then takes a lot of money.
Oh, money is suffering. So I know that at the beginning of this episode, like this series, my character did not know what money is, and I have indeed learned, as Emmy has learned, that money is suffering.
So you started without suffering and have since
No.
Yeah,
a
like
true
some
a true biblical story right there.
some anti-enlightenment happening.
No, protect Dawati from suffering.
Well, I think we are going to go ahead and just dive right on into it. So, here we go. When last we met our adventurers, after helping greatly with the fire in Riversmeet, they had been approached by Captain Fury and told to remain in town, staying at the night's rest and waking to having a quieter breakfast amongst themselves, discussing what may or may not be happening on this day, and noticing that there were guards standing outside. Eventually, the captain arrived, and after sharing a bit of toast with them, took the party to a reinforced guardhouse at the end of town. Within, the party was taken to a small room with a table fitting all of them and no windows, and a lengthy interrogation occurred, discussing the happenings of Dr. Sada and their connections to her, what they had been doing since coming to Riversmeet on her behalf, and showing them evidence around the destroyed home, as well as what had been procured. The party attempted to dissociate themselves from any potential criminal activities. The captain, though believing them, did not believe to have enough in her support, and offered the party an exit to leave the town before she had to make her final report. After a emotional discussion as to what this would mean for the reputation of the group, with the parting words of if you have anything else to give it to me, in those last moments, Aiken letting the captain know that should the body they had found have 3 wounds in it, to take care and be wary. This seemed to turn the captain's favor, and after a brief chuckle, seemed to be more approachable. We now find ourselves back in this interrogation room. The captain, now with a new smile on her face, looking at you and saying, and here I was saying, if you had anything else to give me, to say it. Would you all please come with me? And with that, she pushes her chair back and stands.
Yeah.
Lead the way.
Kind of
Okay.
after you.
She ventures forward to the main door of the interrogation room. Opening it, you can see the room, again, filled with guards. She waves them off, saying, everything's all right. We have this. You may return to your posts. Please, this way. She continues to the room, the door across the room. As when she opens, and inside you can see a hallway with barred doors to the left and windows to the right, also barred. Seems as though this may be a holding cell of some, or a collection of holding cells of some sorts, with another door of solid wood at the far end. She walks through. As you pass through, you see each of these cells to the left are empty, the first, second, and third, each with a double cot set up. Seems to be enough space for 2 people within each, but no inhabitants. The door at the end she approaches and reaches for a ring of keys at her belt. Pulling it up, she places one of them in the lock and opens it. None of you are squeamish, I take it.
Not really at this point.
No.
Are you all gonna be all right?
I think, yes, it's a matter of diligence now rather than exploration. I think I can handle things.
It's also been kind of a squishy week.
Yeah.
Brace yourselves. And she opens the door. Immediately, there is a wafting smell of burnt flesh. It's not overpowering, but it is clearly present. She beckons you in. This room, similar to Sada's workshop, with an operating table of sorts in the very center. This one doesn't seem to have been a permanent structure, but more of temporary. The walls of this room are mostly covered with tarps and canvas. They seem to have been hung up and appear to be covering other things. They're not transparent. You are not able to see through them. It is by no means a clean room, but looks as though they quickly erected a sort of examination room. There is a middle-aged man with a leather face mask, glasses, and seems to be wearing sort of similar attire to Dr. Sada, clean scrubs, cloth tied around his head, and a white linen. It almost appears to be a suit, but at first glance, but you can see it is more of just a flat covering, but form-fitting. It appears to be tied in on the sides and underneath to make sure that this is as close to his body as possible. He's standing over this body, not in the midst of anything. You don't seem to have caught him by surprise, but he looks up, and under the muffled mask is a nod. On top of this table is a severely charred and unrecognizable body. The doctor walks up to it. This was the body that was recovered from Dr. Sada's home. The wounds that you mentioned. Please. She gestures to it.
Yeah. I'll go up to the body and kind of orient myself to where the head is, assuming that enough is still there that I can get an idea.
Absolutely. Looking at this body, it is mostly burnt down to the bone. The bones themselves heavily charred. You can see there are sections of it where there appears to now also be burnt meat, but the majority of it is fairly down to the bone, except for a good chunk of the chest region.
Yeah, I'll go up and I'll take a dagger as like a pointing tool and guide down the sternum.
As you do, you can actually see. Actually, give me a really quick medicine check.
I don't think I'm good at these, eh? That's a fine.
It is obviously incredibly burned. And hard to discern any other sort of injuries that may have occurred to it. However, reminiscent to the body that you had retrieved from your time in the forest in the cave, you do see 3 large cavities down the sternum. Looks as though they had burnt away faster. And they are fairly in line with the body that you had recovered.
You found just the one?
This was it.
All right. I mean, this looks sort of like the body we found and brought back to Dr. Sada. But I guess it would make sense that the chest is burnt away a little bit more than other parts of it had been decaying.
Yes, the flesh itself was already compromised due to the toxin that had spread through its body.
You had said that that it reacted.
Yes.
But it stopped at a certain point because it needs live blood for it to keep spreading.
Do you recall where this happened?
Well, we found this body near the cave.
No, the reaction to the blood.
Oh,
I mean, it had...
she had taken blood.
Yeah, we could kind of see where it had stopped. I think... Now I can...
Oh, it was like right near the wound is
Yeah.
where it reacted, and then further away.
You could see where it was affected by the toxin and where it wasn't.
The flesh had turned certain colors that reminded us of the bodies that had reanimated and fought us, or at least that's the theory.
I think Finn
The
has
footnote
rather
we had fought on the
thorough
boat.
notes about the test that she ran. I'm sure you're happy to provide. Wouldn't you, Finn? It'll take us just a moment to find that precise procedure that occurred. I think that will demonstrate the conclusion that we've presented.
Right, and unfortunately I don't think this body will react the same again in the state that it's in.
No.
Really quickly, is the body about the same size as Sada?
At this angle, it's hard to get a gauge on. Go ahead and give me. I would have this be a medicine check, or an investigation.
I would prefer medicine.
Okay.
Please. If possible, that is a 15.
15. Again, difficult to gauge, especially in the state of the body. Looking at the limbs, at this point, they are not fully complete.
Fair enough.
But gauging at the legs and taking a step back and looking at it, it wouldn't be out of the realm of impossibility. It is possible that this is a similar size to Sada.
Okay.
Question above table. Is this something... Since I used my alchemist tools to figure out stuff about the spine, would I be able to take any, I guess, charred parts of this body and discern anything that I would be able to recognize as this toxin, I guess?
It's possible,
Right, but it would be hard to prove.
It
I
would
guess.
be a long. It would potentially be a lengthy process, but
Right.
essentially you'd be doing a minor autopsy on it.
Right.
But it's not. It's not impossible.
Okay. I'll so I did some experiments on the spine that we had. I don't know if you'd be comfortable, or if I turn to the doctor, or if you would, would I possibly be able to do some tests? Because maybe I can find some information that would be, or words.
He is quite skilled at detecting the presence of foreign chemicals.
Thank you.
And it's probable that with the right procedures and enough careful experimentation, we can systematically present the cause of death.
The coroner there just looks. Do you have much medical experience, or?
Not a ton, but I've done some experiments before.
He looks over to Captain Fury. She sort of gives a nod. Well, I'd be happy to have you assist.
Okay, thank you.
Would it be easier if this body was not decomposing, or if maybe I gave you a little bit of room to make sure the body did not continue to... I can stop the body from decomposing temporarily if you would like. If that would make this process easier.
Is this to Sada, the coroner,
To the
Fury, or the
coroner.
coroner? At this point, I feel as though nature has taken much of its course.
I just figured I would ask. Anything I can do to help.
Let us leave it for now.
Okay.
Should we need more time, I may ask for your assistance.
Absolutely.
Well, please then, my
Yeah.
scaly friend,
Oh, I'm Andy.
Andy. And he heads on up to the body. So how would you like to go about doing this?
I don't know, I was kind of just trying to think that if I maybe took some of the whatever is left of skin, some of the charred skin around where the wounds were,
Sure.
that maybe I could find some sort of evidence of this toxin that we've seen before.
Gotcha. Okay. What I will say is,
It's probably a long shot, but worth a
and
try.
you have your alchemist tools out as it stands, yeah? Or
I think so. We had all of our stuff with us, didn't we?
your weapons were removed, but
right,
the rest
but
of
I have my pack. Yeah, so I have...
Now, you don't. Do you have a healer's kit by any chance?
No.
It's okay. So I'll say for these purposes, because you have so many tools at your disposal, you're able to put a couple of things together.
Okay.
Because an alchemist's supplies are more about creating like potions
Right.
and
Yeah.
chemical concoctions. But I like the thinking of this. So it'll be a medicine check.
Okay.
I'll let you. You will have advantage because
Okay.
you are using your alchemist supplies
Okay.
to sort of do this autopsy. And with the assistance of the coroner, essentially he's going to make a roll as well.
Okay.
So, after you.
All right. That's an 18.
Let's go.
Very nice. The coroner, though saying to have you be his assistant, begins delicately working away, but immediately, like, listen, the body is just a machine, and I know its parts. And you dive right into it, so much so that the coroner just takes a step back and lets you do it. Most of the corpses are charred.
Right.
But underneath that, it's not healthy flesh by any means. But you do end up finding some of the discolored bits that are not... They're cooked. But you can tell it's still there.
Okay. I'll kind of show it to Captain Fury and the coroner and just kind of say, I don't know if this is complete proof of anything, but if you look here, you can see what's left doesn't look like normal human skin or muscle. That something has affected it.
Coroner looks down and it looks up at the captain. All right. Well, one way to find out. That she draws her dagger, opens up her hand, slices her palm, offers it to the coroner, who takes a long metal, almost pipette, and takes a small amount of the drawn blood off and offers it to you.
I guess I'll give the skin a bit of a poke with it.
Oh my god.
As you reach down and
Oh, here we go.
as you push it up against the small discolored bit of flesh, the blood almost immediately is absorbed in, and you can see it begin to undulate.
That was weird.
Then it suddenly stops.
Oh, here. And I'm going to reach out and just touch her fingers and cast Cure Wounds.
And
Caught me.
with that, the cut on her palm just seams right back up.
We're of similar minds. And I'm going to take my dagger, slice it across my palm, and just take the tip of the dagger, let it drip onto the meat.
And as the drop hits, immediately disappears into it. And just 1 point of slashing.
So, I mean, as you can see, that's not something a normal body does.
I'd say so.
As I'm watching this unfold, GM, do I get the sense that if additional vital fluids are applied to this flesh, that it would gain sentience again?
With this information, it's impossible to know.
Okay.
Not to be callous, but we should probably burn whatever's left.
Agreed.
Or
We should save some, maybe, but
I mean, I can stop it from...
I was gonna say Dwarfy could maybe.
At the very least, it's temporary. But,
How temporary is temporary?
10 days.
That seems like a very good temporary.
Yeah, that would keep it, from...
Yeah, growing at least.
Okay, can I see where its eyes used to be?
The skull is very just charred back. There's very little left, but you can see sockets.
I will need a few moments if anyone has anything to talk about. It'll just take a few moments of me being here.
I guess I'm just concerned about keeping it around.
As am I.
You know what? No, you know what? I'll just do it really quickly. Not ritually, just regularly. I'll just put my fingers out over the top and put my forefinger above one eye and my thumb above the other.
As you touch it, it is crispy.
And very quietly and gently and Reddick will say, "Rest now, brother. It is time to sleep." And I will cast Gentle Repose.
As you do, the bits that had been absorbing blood that were moving immediately just stop.
All right. So I take it this is the information you were looking for?
I honestly don't know what I was looking for, but this will suffice.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, whether this is or is not Dr. Sada, clearly it was infected with whatever came with the Fairbanks.
Right.
And so the death was justified.
Right.
I mean,
So, should you have had anything to do with it, you were within your rights. Had you nothing to do with it, you had nothing to do with it.
Right.
I think that, I think that an apology is needed from me. Again, simply doing my job.
That is to be understood, Captain.
And I am happy to know that my belief in you was not ill-placed. And I just want you to know that now that I have everything that I need, come time to report, I won't be in any issues.
Great.
Would you excuse us for a moment as she looks to the corner? Ma'am. And he walks out, closes the door behind him. The real question that I have now is if I should say one way or another if this is the doctor, regardless of if it is or isn't, based on what you've told me.
What would keep the city at less of a panic?
Yeah, I was gonna say whatever you think will keep everyone safe.
I have two dilemmas that are in the balance right now. What will keep the citizens of the town happy, and what will keep them safe. So as we discussed, if this information by itself is dangerous, and the doctor did indeed just leave, is it safer for everyone in the town to believe her dead? If that's what she intended, or the belief that she's still out there and just not here anymore?
I mean, I feel like the less people know, the better.
In this moment, I would not normally agree, but in this moment I do. Primarily because she was so very upset. And I got the impression she was not very happy about what she was doing. So, if she was trying to keep herself, if she was trying to have people stop following her, I would hate for someone else to end up thinking that would be a good idea to try and pry into this, you know?
I agree.
Might I offer a tactic of yours, Captain? If you don't mind, everyone. I've given this a little bit of thought in the past moments, but would it be possible to convince the public that after our discovery of the Fairbanks and its catastrophic ailment, perhaps the doctor, in her experimentation and in her observation of these corpses, found herself succumbing to the same effects that infected the sailors, and she took it upon herself to leave town in the safety of everyone here.
Could
That
be.
could offer enough of a deterrent from anyone to go seeking after her. However, personally, I do believe her apprehension is necessary.
Well, I think that whether or not I agree on her apprehension, I think that that's outside of my jurisdiction at this point. Because if she's no longer here, she's no longer here. And my job is to this town, and not much else. But I think that that is in a very believable story.
As to the destruction of a lab, call it whatever you want, an accident or intentional. I'll let you and your town's guard handle that. However,
But also, I don't know, if you think there being a body is going to raise questions, I think it might be safer to take most of that story, but say someone or herself set everything on fire to stop the spread.
I think as far as the public is concerned, simply a fire in which she passed away.
Right.
For then everyone else who it matters to, this.
Right.
That after the incidents with the Fairbanks, and I now have this here as evidence, it is clear that the doctor became infected, and my investigation will have concluded that a fire was set in her home with very clear intention, and she perished. I think we can leave it at that.
precisely. Captain, have you any way of sending word to Venture to warn them of Dr. Sada's potential whereabouts or hidings in nearby cities?
I have couriers. That's about it.
My concern is for wherever she is, that people need to know that there is nefarious activity. We don't want what happened at your dock to happen somewhere else due to her recklessness. I think warning should be sent.
My concern lies in the fact that we fought 3 more of those creatures. She only had 2 bodies, and we assume that at least one of them was dragged away. So, how? Where did they come from? Are there more? There's a lot unknown, dangerous to keep it in the dark, but also it's dangerous, it seems, to bring light to it. So,
Yeah, I mean, I agree that we should warn people, but it's hard to warn people without then subsequently putting them in danger for knowing any sort of information. So it's really hard to figure out how to navigate this sort of.
Welcome on
Hi,
in.
friend.
Welcome in. You're in prison.
Yeah, everything went wrong.
like,
Yeah.
At least I'm not
literally.
dead.
Yeah, we are all dead.
We're all handcuffed together.
I brought
All of the
another
guards are
character
dead.
just in case. So
We've all been loused.
How was your project?
amazing. Yes, really good day. Sorry,
Yay.
Vince.
All good. All good. Get settled.
There's caffeination in front of you. Well, to bring you up to speed very
Thank you.
quickly, you've been investigating a incredibly burned and charred corpse.
How'd that go?
You're all standing around it. There's been a coroner who's been had asked. Andy was to be the assistant, but very quickly just took over. And it appears to be the same body that you brought back. 3 wounds in the chest.
Yeah.
Andy found some cooked but not charred flesh, and it is reacting to blood.
Yep.
The captain is happy to clear your name and coming up with an alibi as to what may have happened. It sounds like y'all are gonna refer to this as Sada, but now the body is Sada.
Good.
But the question is now, what do you do with this information?
Thank you. Good work.
I mean, clearly, Sada is not alone.
No.
It's... So someone else is involved, right? We were about to be killed. And those dogs, whatever they are, were rigged to be destroyed as soon as everything was said and done. So clearly someone's trying to cover it up as well. Question is, if more people know, they can't hunt everyone down, right?
No.
I guess that's true.
But if too many people know, that can cause panic.
Well,
Welcome to my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
seeing as how much panic it's caused within our own minds, I think it's best we try to keep that contained, at least for the time being. Aaron, do you think my vision at nighttime is not strong? Did you get any sense Sada saw when we witnessed her departure?
No, I had the impression that we were undetected.
So as far as she knows, she might have got away with it. Maybe we keep it that way for now?
Agreed. I think the important takeaway is to stay diligent from here on out. There's clearly a cancer spreading in your town, Captain.
I think the cancer may have left.
Hopefully, though.
I think at this point, I know, you know. I will, I think a few key other members of the town should. And we keep a watchful eye.
Yes.
But we leave it at that.
I mean, we as a group need to discuss it a little bit more, but I have a feeling we maybe won't leave as hastily as we were going to before, but
I think you have a little more time
probably
now,
won't
yes.
be here for much longer, and hopefully that, you know, will bring less chaos.
Most
Yeah.
of a... Go ahead.
No, I just... yeah. I don't envy you. One bit. I do think, in case the contagion or whatever it is, those creatures are skulking around the way the sailors, I guess, were on that boat. Seems like maybe they felt something coming on before, if they tied themselves to the ship.
They
I don't
may
know.
have.
Or it was a trap.
Yeah, we've never seen it spread from, like, the beginning, like... Yeah,
It's origin.
The life cycle.
Yeah.
Life cycle is a
Exactly.
good way to put it.
so...
Yes, and it was a rather chaotic time, but I don't recall there being anything on the Fairbanks aside from the bodies that would have suggested any sort of trap,
No.
or aside from just the evidence of the spines.
Yeah. Did any of your people grab any spines before,
No.
during? Is it worth going back to the cave, getting that other body?
It might be.
I think so.
We don't have anything to bring back with us to our organizations.
Yeah.
You're referring to the automaton, yes, Viken?
Yeah.
Or
The pit with the...
The
decayed
pit with the
corpse?
other
Sure, okay.
dog
Yeah.
creature thing.
Thing.
Yeah.
There was also that, perhaps Captain Fieri, you are familiar. When we were out helping recover some of the cargo from the Fairbanks, that We heard cries and saw some smoke in the woods and saw in the distance a cabin. And we were told that at some point there had been an alchemist who had been out that way. We got the impression that it was probably not safe to go, but now I am wondering if this is perhaps more important than we thought, considering the nature of this poison. Does that ring any bells to you?
Well, a plume of smoke was reported, but that is beyond where I will safely venture.
Right.
But if it makes you feel any better, it is a battle that is
That
smoking.
produced, yeah.
It
the
is a battle
smoke.
that is producing smoke. It is not anything on fire.
It wasn't a fire.
So, which is
That's good, at least.
It was semi-contained, at least, but
there appeared to be some beasts in the area, so we also did not venture any further. But I just wanted to know if you'd heard of this alchemist, and maybe if this was possibly some information we should look into.
I had not. This doesn't ring any bells. Inhabitants of the town or anything like that. It could very well have been before my time.
Sure.
Like, we got the impression the building had been there and was in a state of ill repair, so that would also make sense.
Yeah.
Forgive if we've already asked this, but how long have you been here at Riversmeet?
I'm, I think, working close to 5 years at this point.
Congratulations on your tenure. To have a town this safe and successful, you've been very good at your job.
It hasn't always been this hard, to be honest, and it has certainly been not easy in the past, but easier. These last few days certainly do make the tippity top of that list, and yeah, something tells me that it's just going to keep getting harder from here.
Well, I hope you get some time to rest and recuperate for you and your team and your townspeople.
I certainly see some rest on the horizon for me.
You mentioned a few key other people. How well do you know the overseer? Do you trust him?
You see there's a moment of not taken aback, but pause. It's not that I don't trust him. It is that he lets me do my job.
Sure.
He is here, and he is in charge of our town. And that is about that.
sorry, just curious. If you've been here for 5 years, were you appointed by him? Or did you kind of rise up in the guard in the last 5 years?
A bit of both.
Okay.
I worked my way through the Riversmeet Guard, and when the last captain died,
Sure.
I was appointed to succeed him, but
Okay.
it wasn't a.
Right.
I was very clearly next in line.
Yeah. Okay. No, makes sense.
Well, seems well earned.
Yes. But why do you ask regarding the overseer?
I can't say it's your reaction. I think is similar to the feeling as I have. It's just a funny feeling. I have no reason not to outright distrust, but there's something about his lifestyle. It just reminds me of people back home who enjoy the order of things because of the station it brings, and not necessarily for good of all.
I feel as though we may be candid with each other at this point.
Please.
given the last hour. So what I'm about to say, I trust will stay between us and
Absolutely.
the doctor here.
Gallows humor.
Now I like Fury.
Come around.
He is an incredible leader in that he doesn't get involved and lets those of us who know what we're doing do what we do. And I appreciate him for not getting in. I appreciate him for knowing where he should be.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've only spent 5 days, maybe a couple more, in your town, and it's very clear to me who is the one keeping everything on the up and up, and who is perhaps not. So, you keep it up. And if you were the highest rank that this rose to, at least at this time, I wouldn't be upset about that.
Let me also put it this way, I don't want his job.
No.
Perhaps we should leave. Unless there's anything else that any of you would like to say before we go back into the public eye.
I don't think there's anything in this room that's keeping good company.
Yeah.
Right.
I say, looking at the body.
I think one parting wisdom that I would like to just express to everybody in here is that the secret gets harder to keep the more people know.
It's true.
So,
Yes.
I do want to stress the utmost diligence in precise inclusion and really, truly proceeding with your best judgment going forward regarding this matter.
Yeah.
You give us our fair due. To me, I think your judgment is sound, and enough for me to put my trust in.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
It's been a story.
Inside check. just kidding.
Captain Fury heads towards the door, opens it, and stays on the inside gesturing for you all. Please, after you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did we get our stuff back?
You have not gotten it back yet.
Not yet.
That's the first place I'm going is I'm beelining to
I mean,
whatever
Chauncey's there.
coat check they have.
We do need to go get the Chauncey.
Well, walk back down the cell block hallway and towards the door that leads to the main entryway. Captain Fury behind you. Upon entering in, it is much emptier now. A couple of guardsmen, one standing at the podium in the center of the room, seeing you as you enter in, makes no sort of reaction. As you all file in, the captain closes the door behind her. Yes, and before you go, we'll have, turn your goods to her. She nods to the gentleman at the podium, and he quickly nods his head, opens the door behind, doesn't close it, goes in, and very quickly you can hear some metal clanging, and first comes out.
Please be careful with my stick. I know it just looks like a stick, but I do like it. It is my favorite stick.
He comes out actually, stick and spear first, and bit
Thank
by
you.
bit goes back, and your belongings have all been returned to you.
Did Chauncey just...
Chauncey does not come out from the back.
Pardon. He, I guess.
Is outside.
Okay, thank you.
And Dr. Sawdust's journal included in the items
Right.
returned?
Sorry, in the heat of the moment, I thought I had given it back to you. And she reaches in and pulls from her belt the journal.
Thank you, Captain.
As you hold on to it, there's a moment of pause and tension. Take good care of it.
I certainly will.
She lets go. Well, I don't expect you'll be hearing from me anytime soon, but should you need anything, don't be a stranger.
Likewise.
And, please don't show up anywhere eventful. I'm tired.
So are we.
Yeah.
We'll keep you abreast if anything could aid in your investigations here.
I think for the most part, at the moment, the investigation is concluded.
Excellent.
Should I need anything else, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Good day.
Good day.
With that, you leave the guardhouse to still the late morning sun. The atmosphere outside. You are on the quieter section of River's Meet, down on the southern end of the road. A dirt road leading away from the town directly to your right, and to your left, the main thoroughfare of the town. Ahead of you, the Conderflow.
So, dodged a bullet there, but
Quick thinking, regarding the puncture wounds. Thank you so much
That
for
really
keeping your head about you.
turned the tide.
it was one detail that I remembered that I didn't even think it would clear our name. I just thought, be safe.
Thank goodness the flesh was not so damaged to...
You
Yeah.
did a pretty good job for just some outsiders that you ran into.
That's right. I am sorry. Perhaps
Yeah.
we
You're right.
take a walk. Clear the air.
I think no matter what, we need to be very vigilant.
Yes.
I'm sure Dr. Sada, the way we ended it, she knows we're alive. I don't want to meet whoever she's working with.
But she doesn't know we know, hopefully.
Well, at least we don't have to skip town that quick.
No, as Dorothy had mentioned, there are a few pressing things that we need to address, I think. One thing buried, and one thing far away. So, should we discuss, or should we take a moment and attend to other business?
I mean, I feel like we've all had a long day already. Maybe we head back and take some time, maybe discuss if we feel like it, but I don't think we should go on any intense adventures today.
Okay.
I don't know, that's just how I'm feeling at this point.
Yeah. I am curious if there's anything else in that field now that Deanne is no longer hovering over us. We could search where they left. I'm not sure what the captain was talking to you all about, but we were on a very short leash out here.
Well, I could certainly use the fresh air and some exercise.
Yep.
Yeah, let's take a country stroll.
We can be real yokels, Duafi.
I mean, I don't know about Finn, but I'm happy to talk more about what Fairy talked to us about. It's not really private. She just thought it might be.
Right, yes. we have been honest with you, and I must admit, since I made an implication, it's been heavy on my mind and heart. Please understand, my whole life I've been told I don't belong, I'm a failure. All I have is my name and my station in the Lawkeepers, and to feel like that could go away in an instant, well, I'm not proud of suggesting that you didn't have any less to lose than me.
You don't mind letting two other people that you barely know, who have saved your life, just take the hit.
I didn't see it like that, to be honest. I thought we could slip out under a ruse. But you're right, that was not fair.
Especially right after all of that, after Aiken walked into that house, it was on fire, and Aiken walked into it to help out. Aiken brought out all of that information from that chest. You know what? Who am I? Who cares? I haven't seen another elf walking around with gray hair, but probably that would just, end up being completely fine. Certainly I wouldn't stand out in any situation.
You're right in your anger, Dorothy. You are heroes. You are certainly not someone who deserves to be hung with a crime you didn't commit. Or any crime for that matter, because anything I've seen you do is honorable. What I did in that moment, that was panic. That was not honorable.
It was stupid, Finn.
You're right.
I'm sorry to say, Finn, but you should have thought it through.
I was on my toes.
At least you didn't try to convince the captain to do a backflip.
What was that about, Aaron?
Again, desperation. I felt I had my back against the wall, and, well, I was confident that it would unfold in our favor. However, what I learned in the moment is that conversation takes many partners to weave. And while an idea pops into your head, it takes higher learning to discern whether or not that thought reaches the ears of others. And I think both you and I, well, we learned much about interpersonal communication today. So, while...
Well said.
The difference being,
Yeah,
you only made yourself look stupid.
yes.
You made us look all stupid.
You're right.
And while I can forgive it being youth, being your first time in a situation like this, next time that you're under pressure, you can't break like that.
I will do my best. I've, not to make an excuse, it wasn't excusable. I've never had real friends before. No one I could actually trust. No one I could work with as a partner. Just a book.
Well,
I think I've been taught how to manipulate and to get what I need. Or, well, let's just say I didn't have the best role model either. And, that showed today. And I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
we'll work on it.
Yeah, I think.
I'll work on it.
I think just having a little space and
Look,
thinking about it.
I'm sorry that you do not have a very good relationship with your father. I understand what that is like, and I'm sorry. And if you want to throw me under the bus, that is a personal thing that we can talk about
Don't
through.
want to do that.
I'm just gonna take one step closer and get real close to you, eye to eye. But do not ever, ever try and hurt my friend again.
I can promise you that.
Good.
And same for you. Same for all of you, truly.
And I'm going to about heel and walk straight towards that field.
Alright, so heading down the road out from the town?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, wherever that field was where we had just been.
Gotcha. So, where you are at the guardhouse at this moment, the road leading south is the field with the tree that the teleportation happened is to the essentially northwest region of the town. So you're far walk away from that. But if you would like, you can head south and kind of skirt your way around.
Yeah.
I'm stomping, to be perfectly honest with you, so... However I get there, I get there. If it's the long way, I don't care. Just go.
All right. Walking out from the town.
You're following me? Great.
As you leave through the archway, you see the long dirt road that leads away from the town that for the most part follows the Condor flow, and as you peer off, you can see the sail from that ship getting much closer. It is easy to spot at this point, though the details of the boat itself, not so much, but very clearly a small white sail is making its way down. You can also see to the right of these roads what appear to be small farmlands. But you take a right and begin to cut through the outskirts of the town. There's no wall to the river's meet, no remnants of a wall. It just appears as the limits of the town are where the most recent building had been constructed.
Real frontier. Trailing after Duathi for sure. Once we get towards the field, I'm going to start scanning the path that Deanne was not going to let us get super close to.
It's going to be a long trek to get there.
Yeah,
So as you
but just once we start getting there, I just want you to know I'm going to scan.
So as two members of the party wander away.
Finn hangs back, or I hang back and keep my head hung low. Eventually following, but not eager to keep up. Kind of kicking rocks along the way. As much as I'm pretending I'm not pouting, I am a little bit.
Yeah,
Andy.
I'm kind of. Yes.
Shall we?
Yeah. Yes.
Very well then. To where it all started. Okay. As a group,
All right.
kind of trudge along.
As you trek along, the outskirts of the town, it's actually kind of calming. There's a gentle breeze that kicks over the field. The sounds of the town are much quieter on the outskirts. To your left, where the fields are, you can see some of the farmers working away, tilling their fields. Looks like one of them is actually getting ready to harvest some crops. You aren't sure exactly what they are from this distance, but as opposed to the minor hustle and bustle within River's Meet, seeing these folks who are out and just doing solid, good work in the high sun of the afternoon. Eventually, you start to see more familiar areas. The two of you notice the tall, gnarled-looking tree that rests at the edge of the town, that you know marks the beginning of the path. And as you look over to it, Aiken, you see the tree and you kind of gauge over. And though there's no discernible marking of where it happened, you kind of envision in your mind, based on the description, and it plays out in shadows. So you head back over towards the base of the trail to the tree itself.
What I'm looking for specifically is if any bits fell off of whatever allegedly Dr. Sada, if there's any bits that had fallen off that they were in a hurry to not grab. So any spines, any toenail clippings, like that kind of rudimentary.
Gotcha. I mean, depending on the thing you're looking at, there's going to be a varying
It's-
DC here.
Yeah.
I'm
been
specifically
in
looking
the
for
bag
the
or-
creature
Yeah.
that I remember. They could have been dragging something else, but
Right.
I think it's the body. So that's what I'd be looking for specifically.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check. As Iken approaches the tree and begins scouring, the three of you, not terribly far behind.
That was a nat 20 for a 19.
Okay.
Yay, I can!
Critical 19.
Did it.
That's pretty good.
That was a dirty 19.
As you get to the tree and imagine, okay, they described drag marks, and you look down. Ah, those drag marks. Your eyes go right to it, and you are able to follow. And as you follow, like a metal detector just sweeping, there's a lot of grass. It is in this area. As you get farther from the town, the grass becomes a little more overgrown. It eventually comes up to the calf area, but you follow the drag marks, and eventually you get to the spot. Now that a day is, or the chunk of a morning has gone by, you're still able to find the footprints, and that small sort of pushed down area. This is very clearly where they left.
Okay.
But you don't find anything that has been left behind.
Okay. It looks clean.
Trail's gone cold.
Yeah.
Is there anything here that would imply any sort of magical teleportation things? I don't know.
Not that we can discern.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the skills used to both arrive and depart were beyond our knowledge, and as powerful as they are, executed in a way to leave very little trace, so it's not to be followed.
It's just so odd to me that they chose the same place randomly.
Right.
That's-
You were sent directly from the Adergog?
Mm-hmm.
Did they know of this location for its landmark? Or, hey, there's a weird tree over here, so...
Well, all we knew was we were sent here because they were alerted of something here for us. We don't know if there was anything specific about this exact spot.
It does sort of seem like a good spot. Just thinking about it, dropping in the middle of town, well, that might alarm folks. And
Yeah, I guess
from my
it's
understanding,
secluded.
right? It's close enough to town, but far enough away to not necessarily draw attention. And if there's any drift in my understanding of the spell, well, at least it's an open field.
So
Would you give me an intelligence check? Although, your memory, how is it affected?
Well, I did roll really well last time on a teleportation arcana check. I got almost a.
But just in general,
25.
you've got a mind for
I
remembering.
have the keen mind and very high intelligence for things for history, magic. and-
Remind me specifically what Keen Mind does.
Oh, keen mind is anything I've learned or know or seen in the last 30 days. It's almost like eidetic. That is the bulk of it. I know what time of day it is, what direction is north.
Okay.
And
So-
yes, but,
I don't need to roll at all then. As you're standing here, and you look about and are thinking of the field, and that this would make sense as a place to land with how there may be a varying degree of placement with the spell.
right.
You look over at the tree, and you pause for a second, and it's as if an overlaying image appears in your mind, and it's not perfectly aligned. You remember it being darker, but not night when you got here.
Right.
And you're realizing with where you're standing, this wasn't the exact spot that you teleported to. It was on this side of the town, but based on what you recall seeing and where you first met your contact, it looks as though where you landed was maybe a bit more north, if your image of where you landed were to align perfectly.
How much is a bit?
Well,
Geological terms, a bit.
in that moment, I think I'd
It's half of a shave and haircut.
2 bits.
2 bits.
I'd flip open my spellbook and all right, pal. Let's use our stored energy here and close it as I ritually cast detect magic in action for my 1 time a day, and start moving towards the direction of where I remember we landed. We'll show you how long a bit is.
As you walk, you're fairly certain, in fact, 100% certain with your mind. You walk towards the north, and it takes you roughly 6 minutes in walking in that direction. But eventually, you look back, and you look down, and this is the spot.
Right.
It is a little bit farther away from the town.
I
even
was gonna say it's farther. Okay.
Exactly. You ended up having to move north and then away from the town a chunk.
Okay.
But eventually your 2 images in your mind align, and you know for a fact this is the spot that you teleported to on your first arrival to Riversmeet. And there's nothing magical about it.
From the time I left, yeah.
And when the 3 of us first met, was that
It was
here or was that?
no. It was closer to the town. We
You
started
met-
walking.
You waited for them at the tree.
Yeah.
Right.
I have a theory, and this is been percolating in my mind for most of this morning. But it's possible that in Sada's retreat, once they felt they were outside of the town, they were needing a way out, and they potentially called this person to them by magical means. That's how I alerted the Aetagog of the automaton contraband in the first place. So, it might be rudimentary, but there are ways for persons to communicate non-verbally across great distances.
Sure.
And should Sada felt the need to escape quickly, well, I'm sure she was able to craft a device that called someone to her aid.
So we basically have 2 threads that we can pull. We have the cave with the other creature, see if we can do our own experiments, figure that out, or go dig up the contraband and bring that back.
But
there's something in my mind to me about that alchemist house. It's the
Yeah.
same direction that these creatures came from. I don't know.
You recall the alchemist house
It's
is
the opposite direction.
exactly.
Okay, never mind. That's the way we would maybe be going for the adventure. Okay. Andy,
yes,
I think I need some help.
absolutely.
Because I think maybe I can ask. So my bones,
Mm-hmm.
I think I need some help finishing them. Do you think maybe here in a little bit you could help me?
Absolutely.
Because then maybe I could discern if there is a path that is better.
I can absolutely do that.
So to double check where I am with my bones, as I recall and I've written down, but I want to be sure.
Mhm.
I have carved them out to size, but I have not yet put symbols in them, right?
Mhm.
Okay. I need some help melting down some things.
Okay.
I don't know how long. I don't know how long it will take, but
That's fine.
okay.
We have a lot of the day left.
Yeah, I'm not really eager to run anywhere.
Okay. Here is as good as anywhere, but alternatively, if we want to go somewhere and get some food, I just don't want to be rude doing this anywhere. So
How long did it take to walk from where we buried the box?
Into town.
Just
It
out of
was-
curiosity, yes.
was I think about an hour or
Yeah.
something like
It
that.
was a little bit.
Where you buried the box?
Yes.
To town.
You took.
Where the flea is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to return to the fleet.
You were traveling by boat on the river, a small rowboat being
Yeah.
pulled by Chauncey.
About walking.
It
speed.
was a chunk of the day.
Okay.
You returned essentially in time to like mid-afternoon.
Got it.
So with this, you're just before the afternoon now. So you imagine by boat it would take you maybe half the day.
So we get there right at nightfall.
Sounds not great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
great.
not.
Not great.
Yeah, I mean,
but-
I think we need to come up with more of a plan. Because I guess I don't really know what to do with it. Because if we're taking it back to the Order, that's so far. And it's a big trunk that we're just lugging around that looks very suspicious, especially if the Overseer is looking for it.
I know, Aaron, you said that I know we've talked about this a little bit, but just continuing to explore everything. You said that you got in touch with the Aethergog using some means. Do you have those means anymore?
I do. However, I'm reluctant to send a signal that is not immediately necessary. It was unprecedented and almost unexpected for me to reach out in the first place to seek aid. And it is not ring for attendance. It is pull in case of emergency, my connection.
Is that what you were referring to before our meeting with Captain Fury? Your
Yes.
emergency escape route?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
We are capable of handling many things.
Right. I just worry. How long are we gonna let that potential?
Every minute
Just
since we
hang out.
left, it's
Yeah.
nagged at my mind.
I genuinely think we should see where that boat is going, because if it is going the way we want it to go, well, maybe we try and get on it. There's that
Yeah.
boat coming in.
I'm all for it, as long as we don't leave the box behind.
No.
I don't know what to do with it, but I do have an idea how to contain it and
Can we
perhaps
disguise it?
make it more travelable.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think, well, it's also the matter of simply procuring a secondary box.
A smaller one,
Yes.
preferably lead-lined. Which, if the town doesn't sell one, maybe we could find some lead. Is that something you could build?
I'm sure I could figure it out. I have enough tools.
Where would we like to stop for a little bit? I know I need to stop for a little bit.
Why
So-
don't we just have a picnic in the field?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just spend some time here.
Okay. I'm going to pull out my sit down, and I'm going to pull out the 2 bags that I have, one is the bones, and the one is a bag of ash and charcoal from a campfire that we all had a meal at together, and then I'm going to pull out the woodworking tools that Andy lent to me, and
I'll sit next to Duothi and try my best to across applesauce, which is hard with my big feet.
You know, it is what I realized now that it is easier with legs shaped like this.
It's okay. I don't mind.
However, it's comfy, I suppose. Comfiness matters. And then I'm going to pull out the woodworking tools, and I'm going to take the bones, and then I'm going, because they're sort of like chunky coins size, kind of like this big and kind of rounded on the outside is how I would like them to be.
Okay.
And then on each side, on one side, I am going to, in Druidic, I'm going to carve the symbol for yes, and on the other side, no.
Okay. To you, what do the symbols for yes and no mean?
In this instance, for the purpose of the spell, it means weal and woe, so good and bad.
What would you
yes.
like those images to be?
Sort of like a symbol speaking to the nature of the world, if it is good or bad, yes or no. Are you looking for something more specific?
Yeah, for you, what do you want good to look like, and what do you want bad to look like?
We're running into a moment where Duathi knows what the word for good looks like, but Emmy has no idea what Druidic looks like.
So with Druidic, the language is, it's not necessarily a fully written. There
I believe
are
it's got written components, right?
components, the same way that it. Think of it similar to like hieroglyphics, where
Yeah.
you are writing feelings and expressions.
Okay. Well, in that case, on how about on the wheel sign, the good side, I would like it to look like a feather.
Okay.
And on the woe side, I would like it to look like a fang, like a tooth.
Ooh. I like it.
Sick.
Okay.
So,
I'll kind of pat the spot kind of behind both of us in between for Chauncey to come hang with us. And
As you're,
amazing.
yeah.
sorry, as you're doing that, give me a crafting check on that.
Okay, what do you want for that?
Dexterity, and if you're using any tools that you're proficient with, proficiency.
Oh,
Sorry to interrupt. Go
Yeah, so I was just having Chauncey come sit with us, and then was gonna ask Dorothy how I can help.
sure. Well, first it's a 23. Because Chauncey is good luck.
Very well. So,
Okay, so what I would say is if you could do me a favor, and I'm going to hold out the bag of the charcoal. So when I am done here, if actually no, it's no. Let me do that part. I've got another thing I need you to do.
Okay.
The part that I need you to help with, and I'm going to pull out my bag of money. And I'm going to take out. I don't know what I'm thinking. Is that I would like the feather to be filled in with gold, the little feather here, and the little fang to be filled in with silver.
Okay.
So, and I will pull out some gold and some silver. I need these to be melted down.
Absolutely.
About how many do you think it will take?
Yeah, how many do I? Because I will also use some of my money, because
Okay.
I'm not going to make Dorothy spend all of her precious money.
Dorothea, how much gold and silver do you have that you are
Great
able to
question.
produce? Like, what is
I
the?
have, not a lot of silver, actually. I have 10 gold and only 1 silver left. I've spent all my
Okay,
silver.
I have 38 gold and 23 silver, so I'll help with that.
I will say, you looking at, and you just want it in the etches, not on the
Just in
bones themselves.
etching. Well, it's sort of like like enameled in, sort of,
Okay.
like filled into the carving.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will say then the 5 of each was going to be more than enough
I can do the
For
gold.
one, or
for the
the-
lot.
for the body.
Because how many
Okay.
bones is it in
12.
12? Yeah.
so sorry, how many silver and how many gold?
5 silver and 5 gold should do
Great.
it, unless something goes horribly wrong in the crafting of this.
I have
Okay.
5 gold. If I could borrow some silver, I will get it back to you.
No, please don't
Okay.
worry about it.
Well, that's
Dorothy.
very
Keep
kind of
your
you.
money.
No, but
No,
I want.
please.
Okay.
And I'm happy to help. I have Smith's tools, so do I get the impression that I can easily melt this down and do this?
Smelting down is very simple.
Great.
You have a small crucible,
Mhm.
which you'd be doing these one at a time, but
Mm-hmm.
needing an intense source of flame as well would be required. Do you have any cantrips that are, or any sort of spells that do fire?
I don't
Because you have the
think-
tools, but now
I
you'll
don't
need the
think
resources.
I do.
Where did it go?
No.
Druidcraft. I could snuff out the campfire.
It's going to be a little more than a campfire needed to really
No one has
Do
produced
get this
flame.
melted down.
Melt it down.
I have no fire anything. I could heat metal. I can heat metal. I have
Great.
heat metal prepared today.
So if I put it in a container, then can she just heat it up and then I'll put it in the
We can try.
runes? You know, we're teamwork, you know?
All right, so getting this kit together now with a source of flame,
We're improvising.
because it is 2 separate metals, you'll need to do this twice.
Yeah.
Would you like to do the gold or the silver first?
Let's get fancy. Let's do gold first.
Okay.
And it's 1 coin at a time?
One
Or just one
batch
thing
at a
okay.
time
So
is
it's
essentially what
5
this
gold.
check is going to be.
Okay.
Okay. So, as the 3 of you are watching these 2 build or put together essentially a small
I can only do this.
foundry.
Yeah.
out, you're able to put the gold first, you said?
Yeah.
Put the 5 gold into the crucible. And you have a small portable bellows.
I would like to then. Do you think it would be better to heat the little bowl
Yes.
or the metal on the inside?
So you know the crucible itself is made of stone, so
Right. So, yeah, just the metal itself,
Um,
I guess.
Do we want to start a fire underneath it just to like be there to provide something that's not cold air?
Would probably help. Do I have?
I have nothing that I could just get some sticks and start the fire.
I think Aaron has a tinderbox. I think we can get a small cook fire going.
Great. Yeah, we've got.
I have a tinderbox. Yay!
Does Dwathi just have a giant bag
I know.
that's going like?
Look, I have lots of tools, so I also have a giant.
Wait, I
Why
have
not,
heat
sir?
metal in
Yeah.
here.
Just 1 heat metal, please. Thank you.
all right. So
Yeah.
going ahead and getting a campfire going, it's simple enough to do.
Okay.
With the tinderbox, there's not a lot of logs out here in this field, but you essentially have a makeshift,
Yeah, just
ready to go
Yeah.
campfire in this box. So you have the fire going at this point. You have the crucible out on a pair of tongs over the flame, which is heating the crucible nicely. But you know what? You're going to need multiple hands on this, so let's get people involved.
Great.
Who would like to help out with this?
I will summon Mage Hand to kind of steady either one of their to steady the wooden coin that is being poured into in a solid way, so that
okay.
nobody has to actually hold
Oh,
the device.
the crucible itself?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh.
So with the flame going, you know that you'll need the billows to essentially produce
So
intense heat from the
yeah.
fire. The crucible being held.
Great.
So here's what we're going to do. With your spell,
I will then cast heat metal on the gold coins.
immediately they glow a bright orange. And can I get we'll do a crafting check from you. Boy, I don't know what sort of check to have this be. It's going to be with your proficiency. Let's have this. We'll have this be an intelligence check. You are doing a lot of very refined work that you are having to put a lot of thought into. With the help that you are being given from all of this, this will be at advantage.
Great. And with proficiency?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That's
Oh,
24.
Yeah, Andy.
As you heat the fire with the billows, the flame that is produced, you can see the crucible begin to glow itself, the stone now floating in this fire. With the heat metal as well, the gold very quickly dissolves into a puddle of liquid gold. You're able to then direct and have the crucible come out and be poured bit by bit onto each of the bone coins that Duathi has crafted. The gold recedes into each of the etchings and very quickly cools, but you can see that because the bone is porous, it locks into place. Now it's a bit crude at first, but after they've each cooled, you know that you'll be able to give a nice finish to this as well. But the gold etching has gone into each of the feathers beautifully.
what I would like to do actually, Jin, and you can tell me if I need to make a quick check for this.
Mm-hmm.
As it is getting ready to cool, I would like to take some of the charcoal and just sort of dash it over the top.
Okay.
That way and I read up on this, it'll rise to the top a little bit. So that way there's just a little bit of this campfire in the...
Like some flecks of black.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're able to do that as the gold is solidifying. You throw a bit of the charcoal into it.
Excellent. Okay.
The gold has worked out very well.
Oh, thank you, Auntie. They look so perfect.
Of course.
Okay. Okay. And then we just
Time
have to
for
do the
silver.
other side. Okay.
Next, same check.
Exact same thing.
Okay. 15?
15. Not bad at all. Once again, the heat metal on the silver, it doesn't melt as quickly. It takes longer, but the silver does indeed become a small pool. And once again, you pour it into each of the etchings. Anything in particular you'd like to do on the silver?
The exact same thing. I'd like to take some of this charcoal and just dash it over the top.
And as it cools, again, it is a fresh pouring and it hasn't been cleaned or polished or anything along those lines, so it is very rough around the edges. But it is eerily beautiful.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Andy.
Of course, I'm so happy that I could help.
Oh, you helped so much. I could not have done that. Okay. Well, those are the coins.
Are these nice bones now?
They are very nice bones.
Looking at them, it does look as though if you wanted to, you could polish them and have them look pristine. But as they are, it appears they're somewhat dirty, and there are areas where the gold has spilled over the etching. so it looks like it could be refined away. But as it stands, they are beautiful. They are rough, but they are in many ways complete.
Okay. I think that probably I could use a little bit of polishing of them, but
I can help polish them.
Can you imagine with this, it would be a jeweler's kit that you would...
That I don't have. I have thieves, tinkerers, smiths, alchemists, and woodcarver. So would that... But I can have.
just not today.
Just not
That is okay.
not today.
That is okay.
But I can get them real nice and shiny tomorrow.
I get the impression that it will work just fine.
Cool. I'll still do it tomorrow.
Going to pick them up. Are they touchable now?
Oh yeah, they've cooled. As you pick up the first one, there is a bit of heat that radiates into your hand, and it doesn't get to being painful, but for a moment there's the verge of it.
Oh. Okay. And with that, I'll wave my hand and I'll snuff out the campfire.
And it,
There we go. Won't hurt this field. No more fires in this village today. I'm going to pick up the bones and put them back in the litter bag that I put them in. So now I have bones, which is very nice. I could ask something because I've been sort of waiting for this. It will take me time. I will need to cast. I've used on my spell slots, making the fire burn. But I could cast it.
I feel like it doesn't hurt.
As you wish, Dorothy.
Well,
As you wish.
I think we only get so many of this. Let me see. I think we only get so many tries a day before it gets a little bit weird. One quick second. Let me check.
I feel like the choices are the chest or
The cabin.
going. The what?
The cabin.
Uh,
Or something else.
I
sorry.
was thinking the cave with
Oh.
the other
I see.
dog creature.
Yeah.
Okay. So we want to know if going to the other cabin with the dog creature is a good plan, yeah?
Yeah, either the
Going to
trunk
retrieve.
or
Okay.
the
Cave.
cave with the other creature that was in the hole.
Well, it's sort of a.
Start with the
Should
cave.
we do one
Start
at
with the
a time?
cave. Let's
Start
see
with
what
the
the
cave?
bones yield.
Okay.
Okay.
So I get to count it. Oh, if I cast it 2 or more times, there's a chance that it's random. So.
In a day or altogether?
In a day.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So it's sort of a.
Well, we can
One
wait.
question.
until-
We'll leave it to
We're
your
not gonna
interpretation.
go anywhere today.
Day. So let's just do one today, I
Okay.
think, just to make sure that we're feeling good. So
I-
let's ask about maybe to the cave.
Sure.
Start there.
If there's
Yeah.
anything that if we should go to the cave to learn anything, if there's
Mhm.
anything to learn.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm going to take a little bit of time. And I will step to the side a little bit and sit with the bones in my hand and sort of roll them between my fingers. And that will take 10 minutes.
okay.
Okay.
Stuwathi sits there in the field,
Oh, 11 minutes.
taking an additional minute, rolling these newly crafted coins in their hand. Anything from the rest of you?
I think throughout all of this time, however long it took to smelt and create the bones, well, I had a sense that maybe everybody needed some space and I needed to clear the thoughts racing from my head, so I've been hanging away from the group at a respectful distance, still within earshot if you were to shout, and still certainly within sight. I probably would have spent the first 10, 15 minutes doing vigorous, high-intensity calisthenics that I never got to do this morning. Push-ups, sit-ups, if possible, near the tree where I came in, some pull-ups. And
It's
some
a
exercise.
fair ways away from the rest of the party. If you head over towards the tree, as they are essentially where your original teleportation landed you.
Yeah.
Well, any tree, really. But I'd like them to know at least where I am. So, and if not possible, that's fine.
No, you absolutely can.
Noticing that Finn is not with us after I'm done helping Dorothy, I'll approach and just kind of just say, how you doing, bud?
Oh, you know. Well, maybe you don't. Maybe that's the problem. You find me riding with my back to the tree. After the exercise, probably another 15, 30 minutes of meditation. It was about an hour for the crafting before Andy would have come over. Or
Definitely
about-
taken the better part of an hour to do all that, yes.
So yeah, by then I would have exercised and meditated and yeah, I would have been writing, but this time I don't close the book as you approach. The book asked me that last night, actually, and I didn't know how to answer that either. I don't know how to answer that since we got here, to be honest, and I don't know if I ever did. I do know that I feel terrible.
I know you do. Look, you're allowed to have feelings and come up with sorry, words are hard. All I'm trying to say is feel through the feelings, but the biggest thing you can do is just do better next time.
I will try, and
don't, I know, again, this is easier said than done, especially with you, but don't beat yourself up. And the more you come up with excuses of why you did it, the worse it's gonna sound to them.
right.
I think you just have to take responsibility for what happened and apologize, which you did, and move on.
All right. Are we okay?
Of course. Look, as someone who is a bit of an outsider themselves, it was hard to hear. I know your heart's in the right place. But now you know. Look, there was no way for you to know before because of where you come from and all of that. But now you know.
It was
And
selfish.
just do, it's okay. Just do better. That's all that matters.
Maybe it'll take some time to remember I'm not by myself anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm happy for that. What were you doing over there?
Oh, lots of exciting things. So the bones. You know the bones.
Are they nice?
They
Nice
are very nice bones now. They have we melted down some gold and silver and put them in etchings on either side, and now they're very fancy bones. And Dorothy's kind of thinking on them a bit, so we can see if we should. Well, we're asking first about the cave. And then probably tomorrow we're gonna ask about the trunk.
And as Andy describes to you the bones,
The bones.
Duathy,
It's been about 10 minutes.
you sit there. You feel ready. question would you like to ask?
In Druidic. I would like to feel them in my hands and look and see the way the grass is moving and feel the wind and listen to the sound of everything as it moves around me. And I would like to, looking at the bones, I would like to say, this child is lost and alone and has a question. If we go to this cave, is there anything more to learn? Anything valuable we can take? And I'm going to cast them.
As the bones leave your hand, suddenly your vision dark. You see your hands and you see the bones frozen in time in front of you. And you hear echoing in this darkness the clicking and clattering of crows. Not the cawing, but the soft chatter they make when they're playing with a tool that they have created. You see ahead of you, in front of these coins, emerging from the darkness, a blackened beak with feathers and blackened eyes, locking eyes with you. It says nothing. Suddenly you feel a soft hand on your shoulder. It's just placed there. You don't feel the need to look. But it feels like a hug, comforting a child. And time comes back and the bones land on the ground. Mostly gold. In fact, all gold.
Oh. Oh.
You're okay.
Oh.
I just sidle up. I've not been very far this
Oh.
entire time, and I just scooch closer.
Oh. They work. They work. I didn't think they would work, but they worked.
Good job.
We should go to that cave.
All right.
We should go to that cave.
I was gonna say, while I was talking about the bones and then the bones worked, would I have noticed that something happened?
As you are looking over at Duathi, you simply saw Duathi throw the bones.
Okay. Then I'm gonna run over and be like, oh, okay, the cave.
The cave.
They worked.
They worked.
That's
They worked.
amazing.
I asked the question.
I'll walk up behind Andy. If you say we go to the cave, that's what we'll do. I think maybe it's time we do things your way for a change.
I mean, I don't know. I just know this is a good idea, and I know it, and I know they work.
Duathi, you know a surprising number of things, and I spent some time thinking, and I want you to have this a little early. I hand over just one piece of paper, and on the front you see some words you'd recognize in Elfish and English. Melos, the Order of Melos, endless cycle, money, with a breakdown of gold, silver, all of the words that we taught you in the last week or so. I had been keeping some of a dictionary, something for you as a reference. I know things like this helped me. But I also realized, reading back through, how arrogant it was of me to assume, with as much joy as I found sharing knowledge with you, how much you have to teach me. Flip it over.
Okay. I'll flip it over.
On the back, you see Elvish word for friend, family, trust, care. The definitions aren't filled in this time. I think I have just as much to learn as you. Certainly more about the world out here. And I can... Maybe you understand why I'm a little messed up. Maybe if you'd stayed, well, I'm glad you didn't, to be honest. Anyway, I promise that I want to keep learning from you. Couldn't be here without you. I'd be dead, quite honestly. Are we okay?
Yeah, I think we're okay.
Will you help me keep learning what it means to be a friend?
You know what? I get sort of lost in it because I am much, much older than you.
And well,
But I'm very interested to see how what you know works.
me too. Honestly, it's all theory right now. If you'll help me put it to practice. What little I know about the world, I would love to share with all of you. I hope you believe me. I really have been upfront.
I don't think you are a liar.
I don't think you're malicious. I think you're young. I'm not that old. And, well, for my folk, I'm young. You'll learn. You'll learn.
I'm a quick learner.
Which is good. Because I will say, if you mean to harm Duathi, or me, or the others in any incidental way, I am very confident that I can lay you out flat.
Oh, I believe that, absolutely.
So,
I say fit, but I am not a match for you.
consider this a warning, Finn.
Taken, noted.
And yes, Duathi has got so much to teach us.
So much. If there's anything I'm sorry for, well, there's many things, but mostly it's for underestimating you and for my personal arrogance.
It's okay.
Both of you, all of you, really.
I think we're all just a little bit lost.
It's funny, kids my age, well, I never got along with them. They always called me a bit of an old man, and I thought I was at heart, and, well, wasn't ever interested in the things they are. But now here I am, surrounded by very old people, compared to them, at least. And you have so much youth and joy and vigor. And, well, I'm learning just how little I truly know every minute I spend with you, so thank you all.
I mean, you've been sheltered. And now you're beyond the wall.
Right.
It's a big, wide open and scary and thrilling place to be.
It's interesting how much information we've collected inside the walls. Feels like the truth only lives out here.
Yeah.
Some truths do, yes. Some truths live places that we've yet to discover.
Right.
Just remember that it's way easier to die out here if you don't keep your friends close.
I have been reminded 3 times now since coming out, and I'm only still here because of you, so I will remember that. I also would not have liked it if my plan was what she wanted to do, so thank goodness for you. Yeah. To figure out a better way.
You said earlier that, I mean, maybe we should start walking back towards town as we're talking, but you said
I'm hungry
earlier
now.
that the 2 of you didn't mind telling us a little bit more about what Captain Fieri said, what the 3 of us were off doing. getting yelled at by the other guy who did not want us to help at all, apparently.
Right. That was only a few hours ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, what was the captain so eager to discuss in private?
I know you said something about heresy.
Yeah, I think.
Still a little gray on that.
It's not that outright heresy was necessarily spoken on either side, but I think she wanted to give us a room.
I think she didn't know where you all stood when it comes to the order, and so she didn't want to, I guess, out us
And perhaps
in
me
front of everybody.
being so willing to throw you under the bus, as you put it. Well, maybe she didn't think we trusted. Maybe she got the wrong idea. But
Yeah, so she basically just wanted to give us a space where we could freely talk about our feelings about the order.
it still felt quite guarded, though.
Yeah.
On both sides.
Yeah.
What I
But-
got was just her asking the question meant she had doubts.
Right. I think it was only because Finn said that he had suspicions that maybe they were involved. So that's all it was. It really wasn't as big or as serious. I mean, I guess it's serious, but
It's all serious, apparently.
yeah.
Did she proposition you in any way?
No.
One way or the other?
No, just gave us kind of a safe space to talk, I
She,
guess.
yes, it was definitely not an offer
No.
outside of just an open floor, but she did say she is a firm believer in the endless cycle and
Right.
devout in that way, and that as much as the order does bring order out here, it their help only goes so far, I think was
Yeah.
the way she put it.
I am going to look at the sheet that Finn gave me and look up endless cycle. What does it say under the entry? Endless cycle.
Is
this
endless
would
cycle
be-
on the sheet?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
This would be my. It's one of the words I mentioned. So,
It is,
and this would be my interpretation of it,
Yeah.
not like a dictionary definition.
Yeah.
Exactly, but I'm not gonna say it like a dictionary
Yeah.
definition. But well, the one of the teachings of the Melos is that we are all part of it. We all have our place in what is then the cycle, day and night, the seasons, longer timelines. Things always come around in a way, and well, it keeps a lot of people going. It explains the cycle of the moons. It explains the rising of the sun each day. It explains why, if we keep our place in the order, things will keep moving forward as they should.
Give me a quick religion check as well.
Great. Yes. My parents probably would have. Ooh. Stand by. 13. I thought it was a 19, but 13's still pretty good.
Yeah.
Not bad. This is the first time I'm pulling out my character sheet all night. Apologies for the delay here. Religion.
Mm-hmm.
That's a +6 on that 13 for 19.
Okay. So, though you are connected to the Melos in the connection of the order, and not fully the faith, you do know about the faith. And you do know that it has a collection of gods, concept gods. And the endless cycle is one of those gods.
Right.
The endless cycle, as you said, represents day and night, time passing. Also has a connection to life and death. It is basically connected to everything, change, time, and this concept of what comes around goes around. And its symbol is essentially 2 points that are spinning about themselves.
Like the moons.
So it's similar to the moons in how they orbit themselves.
We've drawn a very small version of the symbol right next to the name.
Okay. Well, now I know that.
There's many things that this is more than I shared with Captain Fiore, to be honest. There's many things I distrust about the Order as a political organization. But there's much I believe in their teachings. Much I can't explain without their teachings, to be honest. And the cycle is one of them.
Well, okay then. Well, fascinating that. Series of gods. Wow. Okay.
Are you going to chance tossing the bones again, Dorothy?
I don't think so. I think it might be best, considering how very, very, very important the answers to this is. I'm sort of nervous to toss them again. But I can do it tomorrow before we go.
A quick interjection. I actually had the
Sure.
wrong image pulled up.
Oh.
Yes.
I wrote it down.
I was gonna go back and watch it.
This one
Betrayal.
actually is in direct reference to the moons. It is the image of it is a circle with a sun inside of it, with an encroaching moon that creates essentially an infinity sign.
That's dope. That's dope. Because the moons orbit each other.
My drawing of it in my notes is very bad.
Because I gave
Looks
you
like
the
an emoji with sunglasses.
Can't be right. That can't be right. That can't be how that works.
I was like, what the heck is this?
The moms
is
are
what I
like,
worship,
bruh.
Hey, man. Have you ever eclipsed a sun? I mean, I think if we're heading to the cave tomorrow, because it was quite the journey, we rest up, we get provisions today.
And I want to go to the cave. That box is the wrong direction, right? From the cave. How do you feel about leaving it for a couple more days?
I mean, sorry. Did I get the impression that since it was kind of being held by those needles, I mean, I guess it would be hard to really know, but that it was like safe in a way that if it was parted from that, it would be dangerous, but in there, it's fine.
Give me
Fine.
an intelligence check. We're gonna have this be your memory with what you might envision.
I'd like to
Okay.
make a separate one, different from that, but...
What is the thought that you have?
Mine is how much of the volume of the box compared to like what the space of the contraption is holding was taking up, how much of it was part of the disguise or part of the wine collection? Like if we looked
Oh,
at
yeah.
the smaller box, would I have a sense of how?
That you can absolutely. You don't even need a roll because of your
Oh,
mind.
good.
You
Well, and yes
darn
first.
keen mind bugger.
It was a 13.
A 13.
It could be worse, it could be worse.
Thinking back to it, thinking about the contraption that was holding it, you think that it was less of a containment and more of, say, like a shock absorber.
Okay. I feel like the way it is right now, and I know it wouldn't be ideal, obviously, but if it did detonate in there, it wouldn't cause a lot of trouble. That the containment would absorb a lot of it, right? Am
You
I
don't know if-
interpreting that?
You did
No.
shock absorber in more of the physical. If the box gets jostled,
It won't
it's
rattle.
Oh,
Yeah.
it won't rattle.
It survived a trip down the river, so that makes me think
Gauntlet.
that the
Right.
casing is secure.
Okay.
But so they did put something there to keep it from just jostling rolling
Right.
around in the box.
Okay.
We did
Yeah,
hide it
I
well.
don't know.
We did what?
We did hide it well.
I do believe
Yeah.
it is
Alright.
safe there for now.
I-
I
Yeah.
think it's probably safer there than in our possession until we decide to,
Well, you all would know that
Skedaddle.
better.
Finn, thinking back to it, the device holding it, about just about this big, maybe 9-10 inches across. The box itself was hardly any bigger than a ring box. The little wooden box that was being held.
And the energy was coming from that little wooden box.
Mhm.
Right.
Feels safe. Feels very safe.
Well, there's this is, of course, something that we can ruminate on, but should we decide to leave town, we need to discuss its security. I had an idea, Finn. Were you able to potentially disguise the original box that it's currently in as we depart? If I recall, you have some illusory magic in your spell book, and it might be possible, potentially, to at least isolate this box under some sort of obfuscation.
I mean, there's certain things I could do. I could change the color on the surface of it. I could build an illusion around it, perhaps. That said, it would require constant upkeep, and, well, it's still a quite big box to be hauling
Yeah,
around.
Just
I
get in the
guess-
box.
That's where I'm at.
Well, also my other concern is if we are going to grab this other robot wolf dog thing and have the trunk, how are we going to exactly lug around both things?
I'm mostly looking for more spines.
Okay,
I'm not
then
sure we need a full body at this
Right.
point with the sketches we have.
we also do have Sada's research. All
Okay,
this.
okay.
Well,
I
hopefully
just-
some of
Okay.
it.
want to have access to the poison or whatever it might be and try to mitigate any other contact with
Okay.
the locals.
Destroy it, perhaps, or
Yeah.
also it'd be good for us to have something to take home and any evidence in case we find ourselves in that situation again.
Yeah.
I guess
Okay.
after we do that, the question really becomes, what are we going to do? Are we?
Maybe one step at a time.
I mean, I know what I'm thinking, but that is, do we stay and continue to help with this?
I
Do
don't-
where do you think you are going to go?
We thought we'd be back home a week ago. Well, I did anyway. I don't know about you, Andy.
I had no idea what was going on.
And you, Aaron, where do you think you're going to go with this information? With next?
I believe the diligent thing is to alert the order of this device. I think it needs to be returned and turned over to them for inspection and for cataloging and for analysis. This is what drew us here in the first place.
That all sounds like lawkeeper business and conservative business. And what
Is-
they do with the information, well,
Mm-hmm.
that's out of our hands at that point. So I'm sure they'll alert the order, but
Is this ripcord level? Get out in case of emergency?
I'd rather deliver it myself.
So
That's a long journey.
it's a very long journey.
Precisely.
There's a boat.
the boat
I don't know which way the
going
boat
the
is
right direction for the first Eros Manor.
You know
over
it's coming
time.
to you.
Yeah, all we
Yeah.
know is that it's
We don't know
No, we need to
its
talk
destination.
We need to talk to somebody.
And Fury didn't know how long it'd be at port either, right? When we
Didn't really
asked?
talk about
No,
it.
it's
Yeah,
gonna
we
come up.
mentioned it vaguely, but not
Well.
with any seriousness.
You think it's well hidden? That's enough for me. You know this
At
place.
the flea. I mean, no one's going to pay
Right.
attention to that.
If you feel confident that no one's just gonna stumble over it in the next couple of days, well, I think it could wait. That'll give us time to get to the cave, gather some evidence.
Yeah.
Maybe we can craft a box on the way or in our spare time.
I mean, I have tools.
Okay.
And he has so many tools.
So that's one more trip out. One more trip, at least back this direction. We have been wrong every time we tried to think more than one step ahead. So
Yeah, I feel like we go with that and then see where we're at when we're done.
that's enough for me. Aaron?
Sure. One step at a time.
Okay.
There's one more thing I wanted to run by the group. I was contacted by my maester. I put on the stall. That could happen sometime in the next couple of days, and if it does, I'll need to respond pretty quickly. How much should I share?
Don't know.
I think.
Well, your maester is concerned with the contraband, correct?
My maester is concerned with what we found out here when we respond to Aaron's call for help.
Okay.
Oh, how it's going, at least.
And, I mean, you said that you trust them.
I did, but I'm learning a lot about trust and what it really means.
I mean, look, if the goal is to take these things eventually to them, then we might as well. We don't have to go through every detail, maybe, but let him know that we're onto something and trying to grab some things to bring back.
We found something. It's safe, but not in hand. More
Right.
leads to follow.
And also ask them about how they intend for you to get home.
That
How do we get back? Okay, that seems like enough to give them.
Yeah.
Not anything too concrete. Aaron, all
Seems
right by you?
sufficient to me, yes.
yeah.
Andy, you haven't been contacted, have you?
Nope. Other than when Chauncey arrived.
I flipped through my notebook really quick. Well, by my count, you don't need as much checking up on it as I do. So you seem to be doing great, Andy.
I don't know what's happening.
You've made a beautiful thing. You've fixed several costs. You've done admirably in battle, and Chauncey is just, well, I don't even have words.
Thank you. I don't know what to do with all that.
Accept it.
Okay, thanks.
But first and foremost, I'm hungry. I didn't have breakfast.
Yeah, let's go. We'll go back to the night's rest, get some food, and settle in for the night.
Yeah, we'll probably want to leave pretty early.
Probably. Although before we go, if that boat is in, I would like to know where that boat
That
is
is
coming
true. We
from.
should, yeah, if they're at the port, we should
Make
check
sure
in.
we don't miss it.
That would suck.
Take
We
a
can
pass,
ask-
and I'm sure Marius has some sort of manifest arriving of
Yeah.
ship coming in. We can ask him.
Really quick, Finn.
Yes.
'Cause I'm going to start doing this with your keen mind feat. You can accurately recall anything you've seen or heard within the past month, based on a conversation that you just had. Give me a quick intelligence check.
Oh, no.
What's happening?
Oh, that's not good. Well, at least it's a 7 out of 1. They're right next to each other. Plus 5 is a 12. Nope, plus 4 is a 12. Nope. Is it 11? It's 11. It's been a very long time.
It's
Real
above
life
10.
intelligence check.
Uh-huh.
All right, I'm going to give you this one.
Oh boy.
The moment that you recall chatting with Andy about everything that Andy has done and fixing the cart,
Right. We are owed something?
you remember how Andy fixed the cart
Josh does not remember.
and the metal that Andy had to use to fix the cart.
What did I use?
Was iron?
It's from the dog.
Oh, shit.
Oh no!
I'm sure it's fine.
Sure, yeah, sure, fine, yeah, sure, fine.
Oh, here it is, right here.
Also,
Oh no! Oh shit, fuck!
Wait, why are we concerned about this? It's
I'm
metal.
not.
Yeah.
It's metal.
It's just metal.
Well, we have evidence, at least.
But also, that means we used a spine to repair a cart and not just keep it on hand.
No, it
No,
was
that's
like part
fine.
of its plate.
Yeah, it was a piece of the body.
Yeah,
right?
it was
Oh.
a piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we're
Yeah, it's not a spine.
okay.
Metal plating.
Just a poisonous cart.
Okay.
Well, hopefully Brody has that
But-
card and we can buy it back.
Yeah,
from
I
him.
was gonna say we could just buy it from him.
We're gonna want one anyway.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
dear.
gonna need it.
I had forgotten about that. It seemed so much less perilous at the time.
Well, we should go there too, because I should see if there's. I mean, he might not have exactly what Sada had, but some sort of safe container to keep them in so they're not just loose
Yeah,
in my
for
bag.
a box, perhaps other metals, so we don't have
Just
to
wrap
keep
'em in a
spending
bedroll.
down on money and our
Not again.
evidence. So stock up some.
Yeah.
Stop by the ship. We could split and make things efficient.
Maybe we go chat with Marius,
Sure.
Yeah.
check on Galkin if he's there,
Oh yeah.
and talk about the manifest and
Cool.
talk about boxes.
Great. I love talking about boxes
And metal.
and
And talking to Brody.
well, he's my best friend at this point.
I'm glad he likes
Sorry.
somebody. No, that's a good thing.
Okay. Well, I imagine by this point we are probably back to the
Yes, been
You've been walking along.
Probably
Where have you been
walking.
heading this whole time?
towards town.
More
Yeah,
towards
well,
like
you're very,
Knights-
very much in town at this
Knights
point.
Oh,
Rest.
we were heading
would be-
towards
Ish.
the night.
Yeah, I
Slash
think-
the port.
But now.
Well, at this
we
point, you would have definitely have reached the Night's Rest.
Well,
I
in
think that's
that
fine.
case,
I'll go with Aaron or with Aiken and Duathi to the.
You're
to the dock.
Aaron.
I know.
I'm Aiken.
Aiken.
All
This is Duathi.
That's Andy.
So Aaron, Aiken, and Duathi heading towards the port to
Mhm.
talk to Marius.
Mhm.
The two of you.
Elf Team 6.
Brody's?
Elf teams.
We're gonna.
We're just the nerds.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Brody's
All right.
and I don't know, see how much buying a cart off of him is,
And some other things.
and some other things.
So as you depart ways, the three of you heading to the north, the two of you heading over to Brody's. Finn and Andy, as you pass by the front door to the Night's Rest, there's you get a little bit beyond the area towards the road.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's all
Very suspicious.
Dauber just
I
stabbed.
know. I was like, not Daubers.
Stand by for betrayal in
No.
C minus.
It all
You've
feels
set the man
ominous.
defensive.
What have I done?
I don't like.
You
There,
know.
Captain Fury's corpse is
Astra
dead on the
comes
floor.
running out.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, Finn, right?
sure, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. This is Finn.
This came for you.
What is this?
And she holds up a small parcel and a letter.
Oh, well,
I don't know how.
that was going to be my first question.
Good. I went into the back to start breakfast, and it was on the counter when I came back.
Oh, must be one of my friends. They're practical jokers. I'm sure they must have slipped in. I'm so sorry if they interfered.
It's fine. No, they didn't interfere. If anything, it was eerie. But this is for you, I guess.
Great.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
It's a parcel.
Yeah, small bag, about this big. It's tied shut at the top, and the letter with a wax seal on it. Had no iconography on it, but it has your name written across it in very elegant handwriting.
Right. Well, if you catch that prankster again, some kid in town, I don't even know. Is he one of yours? No, never mind.
What?
Anyway.
Finn, stop talking.
Right. I'm very bad at Thank you. Bye.
Bye. She turns around and heads back.
We have a very different relationship with the different bartenders.
One always does.
Open it.
Oh yeah, you think?
I mean, at least the letter.
You hold it. The parcel.
Sure.
I pull the parchment.
Like,
yeah.
very uncomfortably.
And
So you unroll it.
uh-huh.
It reads, Finn. You have been hard to track down.
Uh-oh.
Well done.
Oh, good. We did good.
I hope that your travels have been eventful. Ivek never really was good at a send-off. So I thought that I would give you this. I hope that you stay safe. I hope that you find what you're looking for. Please remember to trust your instincts. Remember why you have been sent out. Find, record, and eventually return. Trust in your conservator. They will have all the tools that you need.
They like you.
Okay, who
I
is
miss you
it?
already. Jovic. P.S. I hope this helps and is a small taste of home.
I don't know if it's just a gift or
Who
something
is it
useful.
from?
My maester,
Oh. Well,
right?
Friend.
Friend.
Yeah, not,
Mentor, sort of.
yeah,
Right,
you're-
but not the head of.
Exactly.
Right. Yes. No, that's
that
what I
joke.
mean. Right.
well, open it.
I'm a little nervous.
Well, it's for you. I don't know.
What is it? How's it packed or wrapped?
It is a small, it is not silk, but a soft fabric that is tied at the top.
Crushed velvet.
The letter said I should trust my conservator. That's you.
That is me.
Will you help me open it?
Sure.
Grab one end of the ribbon and hold it out.
I don't know what's happening. I
A
just-
volley of butterflies. No,
Oh my god, this is so romantic.
as you open it, you peer inside, and there are two smaller pouches. One a small, or actually both, a small leather pouch.
Told you it might be a prankster.
it's tiny pouches in a pouch.
Inside the first, it is a dark brown leather. And as soon as you pick it up, you can smell the soft aroma of a sweet black tea. The same tea that you and Jovic would share.
We're gonna finally have a good cup of tea out here. Smell this.
Okay. That smells nice. I don't drink tea as much as you do, but
Well.
I'm glad you have it.
Hopefully you appreciate it.
I'm happy to try it.
If I grew up on the tea out here, I wouldn't drink tea either. So hopefully you had better tea where you're from.
I don't know.
And the other.
Second, as soon as you pick it up, you hear the clanging of metal.
Stand back.
Okay.
Kidding.
Inside, you find gold coins. A good amount.
Oh.
Finally.
All in all, it's 200 gold pieces.
What?
Jova, you beautiful.
We're rich. That's a lot of money.
If only I knew how to send a thank you note back. This will help a lot.
It will, especially since we need to buy a cart.
We'll put it towards the cart, the box, everything the party
Okay.
needs first. Well, there's several spells I can't copy from Aaron's.
Yeah, get whatever you need.
But a pearl. If they have
Oh,
a pearl
yeah.
in this town, we can identify what's in that box.
Oh, great. Let's.
This is gonna go so fast. But we'll put
Okay.
it to good use.
Okay,
As far as I'm concerned, this is for both of us.
thank you.
Same for the tea.
I
Unless you don't
will
like the
try
then it's
the
full.
tea.
And as
But-
you look over this gift sent from afar, somehow, as you all go off to have your respective conversations and buy your items,
Thank you, Jova.
that is where we are going to end tonight's
Oh
episode
man.
of Melos Machina.
I can go another hour.
Me too.
Hope that you all have enjoyed tonight. Thank you so very much for joining us. We'll be back again next week at 7 p.m. to see what is in store and what might be waiting for the party at the cave. We'll see you then. Bye, everyone.
It's knives.
No!